glottis is the opening. When you swallow, everybody, when we swallow, you can't swallow and talk at the same time. Because when you swallow, or not swallow, you can't swallow and breathe at the same time. When you swallow and breathing is stopped because the epiglottis goes over the glottis, the opening to the airway. The epiglottis is the opening into the airway, air passageway. And so every time we swallow, that epiglottis goes over there. The glottis, then the trachea. The proximal end is the glottis, the middle is the trachea, the distal is the lungs. These develop into the bronchi, you know. The distal part of it, the lung buds, excuse me, develop into the bronchi. Bronchitis is inflammation. Now, many times, long-time smokers will have a problem. What does the word chronic go to? You remember what chronic means? What does chronic mean? Ongoing. A chronic bronchitis, that goes along with emphysema. And those two come together to translate into COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. I was talking to this woman that's going to come in our lab later on. And I'm going to talk to Susie. Her name is Susie. And I'm going to talk to Susie some more because she's in my AP1 class. And I'm going to talk to her more about this. And I asked her, I said, when y'all make those ambulance calls, what is a common cause for that? Well, shortness, COPD. She mentioned COPD, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease. Usually in older people, many times a little bit older people, you know, who sit around and smoke all the time. Chronic obstructive pulmonary. All right, so lung buds, etc. right there. All right, alveoli do not develop until about the 26 weeks. Okay, girls, this is why in a premature baby, this is why there's a stuff there that it's called surfactant. And a baby that's a preemie, that surfactant has not developed good. The lungs are like, any of you, you know what saran wrap is. All of you have had saran wrap around your house. If you get saran wrap a little bit wet or it does like this, it's hard to unstick, isn't it? You've all tried to mess with saran wrap and try, you know how it does. It can be very aggravating, can't it? This is the way the lungs do in a preemie. This is what they do. This is why in a premature baby, they put them in the hooded area, and they have in ventilation. There's a mist going in there. That mist has surfactant, and that baby, that little tiny thing, no bigger than your fist usually, is breathing this surfactant, and it's keeping those lungs from doing this. And then the baby, they try to inhale, they're stuck. If there's no surfactant, that's one of the reasons. There are many reasons. That's one of the reasons where that 9-month time period is crucial. That incubation period. That 9-month period is crucial because everything has to develop. And one of the things are those lungs. Because that baby comes out too soon, way too soon, then there's going to be that problem. You know, there will. But now, of course, now they have these premature areas in these hospitals in Houston and John Seeley and Galveston. They have these where they can pretty well take care of them. You know, pretty well, pretty good.
What kind of steroids do?
Steroids are dilators.
Well, they give you steroids
for the baby?
Yeah, like when I went into preterm labor, they gave me steroids to help develop the baby's lungs, is what they said.
Oh, really? No, well, they would. I mean, the steroids are mainly dilators, bronchodilators. And I don't know how they would develop the baby's lung. I'm not sure there. I really am not sure on that. I have to kind of look into that. That's one I can find out, though. I can find out. I'll find out the steroid. Does the steroid help the baby's lungs develop? The steroid?
That's what they said.
Okay, well, I'll check in on that one. I really will.
They said they give it to you, and within 48 hours, it helps.
Helps with the baby with the lung development. Okay, I'm sure check in. No, I'll check into it. No, I'll check. That's a good question. That's a good question. I don't know fully the answer to that one, but I'm sure check it. All right, now this is just showing. Right, this is out of your book. This is just kind of showing some stuff. The lung buds. There's the esophagus, the lung, the laryngotracheal buds, and how it all. There's the 4-week embryo. Everything's beginning to develop. There's the 6-week embryo, tertiary bronchi. See the amount of cartilage as the trachea comes down has a C-shaped ring of cartilage, and the amount of cartilage becomes less and less as these airways become smaller and smaller. It's how asthma, constriction, You know, it constricts. You know, if there's no cartilage there, they'll close all the way. And so this is just kind of showing you how that works, how that comes along. All right, the adult lining, and you learned this in 2401, the adult lining is composed of pseudostratified ciliate columnar. Y'all had the question on that? And it is derived from endoderm. The lining is derived from endoderm. Y'all remember that, kind of from 2401. So this cartilage muscles develop and all that, associated with the lungs and all, develop from mesoderm. Just remember that endoderm of the respiratory developed, the lining of the respiratory develops from endoderm. Y'all remember Carl Ernst von Baer? Y'all, those of you had in 2401? Y'all don't remember, you didn't have me. Carl Ernst von Baer was the guy who, in the 1800s, who identified the germ layers. What are the germ layers? Ectoderm, endoderm, mesoderm. That's von Baer. So those things develop from that. All right, now right here, definitions of respiration. Okay, right here. If I walk up to somebody on the street, or walk up to somebody and say, what is it? What do I mean by respiration? The person is breathing, inhaling and exhaling. Yeah, that's one. To the clinician, respiration means one inhalation, one exhalation, of which there are 15 or 16 per minute. That's respiration. All right, but respiration goes more than this, though. In other words, if you technically look at it, ventilation is breathing, process by which gases are exchanged. That's ventilation. Inspiration, when inspiration occurs, the ribs move up, the diaphragm goes down, the sternum goes out a little bit. When we inhale, it should be an effortless process. In other words, the air is moving from air of greater concentration to one of lesser concentration. Effortless process. The pressure out here is greater than the pressure in here, and air rushes in. That's called negative pressure breathing. Your breathing you should all be in a state, if you're not, you're in trouble. You should all be in a state of E-U-P-N-E-A. Eupnea would be normal, quiet breathing. Now, these people like this, and they walk into the grocery store, and they come up to the checkout, and they said, now this is about all I want. All right, that's D-Y-S-P-N-E-A, dyspnea. Dyspnea is labored breathing. That's dyspnea. Dyspnea is labored breathing. Okay? And you can induce labored breathing. Yeah, go out to those bleachers we were talking about. You can make labored breathing. Run those bleachers a couple of times. You'll be breathing hard. You'll be doing, yeah, you'll be doing that then. Oh, heck yeah, you will. All right, yeah. All right, so the inhalation occurs, and this is what I told you right here. When the pressure inside the lungs is less than out, than the pressure in the atmosphere, and I told you that. Pressure, you don't have to. See that, this is what, hey y'all, this is what happens when you go up in the mountains. If you go up to Pikes Peak, and you get out of your car, you've been driving all day, and you get up there and you get out, oh, let's kind of go fast over here, come on. You will induce labored breathing pretty quick. You know why? Because the pressure out here is more equal to the pressure in here, and the gas moves in at a slower rate. The exchange is slower, the moving in, because these pressures are more equal. And so as they become more equal, the diffusion rate is slower, and so you're going to adjust though, because the lower oxygen pressure at the high atmosphere, your kidneys are going to produce erythropoietin, and you're going to make more blood cells, more oxygen carrying capacity. So you're going to, quote, acclimate. And as I told you, that's why boxers would go up in the mountains and train. They'd go up in the mountains and train a little bit because they'd get their blood levels up. Now this is legal, you can do that. But you can't go up in the mountains and train, withdraw your blood, have a nurse or doctor withdraw your blood, preserve your blood, then inject your blood back into you. That's called blood doping. It doesn't sound like it would be illegal, but you can be banned from one of those runners. What was that runner's name? Tall black guy. What was he? But I forget what his name was. But he was banned. You know, he got in some trouble for blood doping.